All right, fellas.
And it's spread.
And in my car,
Took me a minute there.
and on my
And
clothes.
spread.
Yeah, that smell certainly spread, dude. And I
Yeah.
think that song was written about me just in the past. It's like there's
Yeah.
gonna be a guy who deals with the stink so severe that this will be the perfect song for it. And it kind of was. That was a little allusion to a off-topic conversation we just had. I'll spare you all the details, but skunks, man, they fucking suck. Anyway, this is What You Spinnin'. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. We are here for episode 99. We're gonna get into that stuff here in a second, but as always, how are you guys doing? You guys listening to anything cool? You guys do anything cool musically? What's the haps, craps?
What's the haps, craps? Not much new with music. Just been diving into our picks for this podcast and listen to some 90s rap during the week. Other than that, nothing new. Yeah. That Migos track I shared with you guys.
Dude.
Random pick. My one of the manager that I work with at night during the week, he's probably maybe 10, 15 years younger than me, but he listens to so much like the hip hop's good, but like it's the same like style and genre. I'm just like, dude, I need to like
Uh,
speak up and be like, dude, there's other stuff out there. And maybe he knows, but I don't know. I'm just like, okay. But he played this song and I was like, dude, I don't like the trap style, but like this song, it's decent, you know? I like the vibe of it. And so I
Dude,
haven't really
yeah.
dove into any of their other songs, but the t-shirt, that was a good song.
Yeah. Like I said when you texted that, like I remember working at Journeys. It was like because I started working there in the spring, so I worked like the whole summer back to school. And so driving my little my shitty Honda Civic with the two 12-inch subs, I was a dick head, dude. But like, yeah, I would drive around. I was super into Migos and Future at the time, and yeah, t-shirt, game
Yeah.
over. If I had to open the store, you can best that my window was cracked and you're seeing vape smoke pour out of it, and it's Mama told me not to sell work.
Mama. White.
Mama,
Yeah.
dude, love it. I'm so glad. Like when you sent that, I'm saving it because I'm gonna listen to it probably today. I was like, I'm gonna really bump that song when I get around to listening to it again. Also, I know
Dude.
once I break that ice, the rest of the pond is gonna crack, and I'm just gonna
Oh
listen to
yeah.
Future and Migos for like a week. And I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for that, but hell yeah, man.
When
Nice.
you brought that up, Matt, I did get back into listening to few like at the gym, I was listening to Future and
Nice.
fucking Lil Uzi, shit like that. So
Hell
I
yeah.
love it. I love that. I did send you guys a text yesterday. That was interesting. There's a new like project with like I guess it's like what's his face? Your old Droog and Madlib.
Mhm.
That they're doing like a at least it's just like a couple songs, but like they had a song on there with Killer Mike that was really good. I don't know if you guys heard of that one. And then another one with Boldy James I thought was interesting. But kind of like a cool collab, like Madlib producing it with uh a bunch of different artists in it, and like primarily this dude, like your old Drew, I like his music, so I thought that was cool. Um, a lot of cool stuff. I don't know if you guys saw, I was kind of talking to Dorian about this a little bit, but like they're coming out with the new Daft Punk movie, and Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack for it,
Of
which I
course
thought
they
was
are.
interesting.
They're all over it. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That'll be I think their music with that's a good collab in general.
Yeah,
Like that's how it should be. That's the perfect collab. Yeah.
yeah. That sounds awesome. That sounds. I didn't
Dude,
know they were
yeah.
doing a Daft Punk movie. I'd be
Yeah,
Or
fine.
not a Daft Punk movie, sorry, like a Tron, like a Disney Tron movie. I just
Oh yeah, yeah.
associated it
Oh
with
yeah.
Daft
So
Punk
the
because Daft
soundtrack's
Punk,
out. Yeah.
yeah. But
Mhm.
they're doing like the soundtrack that Daft Punk did the last movie. So this one they're doing Nine
Oh,
Inch Nails for it for the Tron movie. I thought that
hell
was
yeah.
cool because like it's kind of the same thing, but like more like a little
Yeah,
different. But it's still
Yeah.
kind of the same alley. I thought that was pretty fucking badass.
yeah.
The
And
soundtrack's not bad. Yeah. I mean, it's some of the lyrical songs are trash, but
yeah,
the instrumental, spot on.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard I think like one or two songs off of it. I do like it. I was I was stoked for that movie until I saw the first trailer for it, and I was like, "Oh shit, Jared Leto's in it." I don't know, man. I was
He's a
like,
good actor. He's decent.
he is he okay. I okay. Maybe I have to watch it because I did. I actually really liked Morbius. You remember that movie, the
Yeah.
Marvel vampire movie? I actually really liked that, and people thought it was pretty cheese dick. But
You
maybe
should
I'll.
watch the one with Matthew McConaughey where he has what is that? Where Matthew McConaughey's like super like sick and Jared Leto's like a transvestite. Like, yeah. That
Okay,
what's that movie called? It's probably a decade old, but
I know, dude.
yeah.
It's right there for
Oh,
me too.
blank.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about. I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
That
I'll.
that made me a fan of him. Like I know he's
Okay.
got his band and whatnot. I'm not into
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
music, but like that made me
Right.
a fan of his acting for sure.
Huh. I'll have to look into that for sure.
Hmm.
Um, do I have anything cool musically? No. Matt, your 90s text earlier this
Do or
week.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. It made me listen to Ready to Die by Biggie yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
I like
Ready to
listening
die, no biggie.
No
yeah,
biggie.
dude, there you go. The amount of Biggie references on that album is fucking crazy if you
I
want to
turned
like
on two people to that album this week at the dispensary too. They're like, "Who's this?" I'm
nice.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
come on, come on."
Come on.
Like
Let
they're
me
bringing up Future, they're bringing up all this stuff. You're like, here, kid, throw him a
Yeah,
CD of Billy Woods. Listen to
yeah,
yeah.
this.
yeah. Maybe check out Gollywog. Gollywog's getting a lot of hype on Instagram for being like the best hip hop, alternative album of the year. So
Yeah. I could agree with that.
yeah, it's
It
different. It's
yeah.
abstract to the T.
hmm I spun it after I picked it up from you. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
And then
it's
like
weird.
because he's doing shows right now
Yeah.
and I saw like live footage of him doing I can never remember what's the song where it just samples that woman crying the entire time. Uh
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mm.
he did that song live and I was like I need to see him tour this album. I was like if he comes back
oh,
to
we're
Port
going.
like I'm mad that he already came here and did it, technically, but we were going
Yeah.
to Santa. There's no way we were going to do both.
Mhm.
But I'm like, please just extend it a little bit and come back, man. I got to see some of these songs live because they're fucking crazy. Like, and well, because we've seen his shows. It's dark as hell in there. There's one color light, and it's like like right now he's doing red, and I'm like, I'm getting chills talking about an
Dude,
Instagram reel right now, guys. It sounds fucking crazy. Like it's
Polaris
crazy
Hall
looking.
is really cool. I like how tiny it is.
Oh
Just
yeah,
fucking,
yeah,
it adds to it.
He
yeah.
had a
It's like
show
the
in he had a show in Brooklyn this last week where he had a lot of guest appearances. Member from Cannibal Ox was on stage, Elusive was there, Bruiser Wolf, like everybody showed
Mhm.
up. It was like, fuck, dude.
God
Dang.
damn.
Preservation was like, yeah, dude. It was like, fuck, that's the all-star team. But like
Yeah.
we're in Brooklyn, the heart of all that hip hop, like of course
Yeah.
we're gonna be there. We're never gonna get that in Portland, Oregon, but
No. We'll get Aesop. Maybe we'll get Aesop
yeah, that'd
Rock.
be sweet, man. I'd
That'd
love
be cool. That would be
that.
kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
I'm
If he
still
ever
a
performs, dude, we should go to one of his shows if he's ever,
oh yeah.
performing in a small club.
Yeah.
That'd be-
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Billy, or I think I overheard it and like kind of chimed in on the conversation. I heard him talking about Aesop when we were in line.
nice.
He's like, "Yeah, tell the Aesop's around here somewhere. If we're going to like tell him to come out." And I'm like, "Dude, you should just tell him to play Polaris Hall. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. Like, come, yeah, whatever." I'll say it on the cast. I just told you guys, I sent it to you. There's a really cool track called Brown Paper Bag by Steez or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, it's like cool jungle stuff, but the bass on it sounds like Medeski, Martin, and Wood. That's kind of been my thing I've been getting into. Went back through, I've been on a floater kick again, man. I have that playlist that I've had for years that listening to floater as long as I have, because I started listening to them when I was like 12. And so now I'm like, oh, I appreciate music for different reasons. So I went back through their discography and added a bunch of other songs that I didn't have on there. So I've just been kind of basking in the floater pool for a little bit this week. But yeah, and then Ready to Die, man. If you want a good Friday, just listen to Ready to Die. Like
Yeah.
it's a perfect album to start a weekend, I feel like.
That
But
floater pool gets deep, man. Like you can stay in the 3 foot section, but once you get in that 7-9, like you're going all the way, you swim in the whole lap. You're swimming all around that pool. Yeah. It's Olympic size, motherfucker.
absolutely. Yeah. You listen to Weightless and an Apology. If like this is stone by stone as far as like it's a pretty accessible album, but then you listen to something like Sink and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in 10 feet of water immediately."
Mhm.
You hear fucking Snowblind or Peter the Destroyer,
Whew.
it's
Yeah,
over.
it's over.
Hell yeah, man. As always, floater for fucking ever.
Mhm.
We ready to get into some content, boys?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that was our little casual conversation about music we've been listening to and happenings. Um, it's What You Spin in episode 99. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, that's Jake. We're going to be right back to kick things off for today's content with my buddy Jake's pick for this week. Stick around. We'll see you in a minute. Anyway. All right, folks. You ready? It's episode 99, baby. We've been here for a long time and we're going to be here for a little while more. Uh, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for episode 100. We're going to go ahead and tell you some of that at the end, so stick around or, click the timestamp down below that says outro, because all of that stuff will be covered then. As always, I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. And speaking of Jake, you've got a hell of an album that you're bringing up today, my friend. Why don't you tell the people what it is?
Seaside Lovers came out in 1983. It's got three artists on it. I'm gonna butcher these. Akira Inoue, Masataka Matsutoya, and Hiroshi Sato. Uh, Three artists that are on this. It's kind of, I guess, like a collaborative album. I wish this was on Spotify. All of it was on Spotify. My bad, guys. I was like, I bought this and I was waiting, like, okay, it's gonna come back eventually. It just hasn't, and it's been months. So there's nine tracks on here, but there's only only six songs available on Spotify, and three are missing, which is kind of lame. But yeah, it's like what's it called? City pop, I guess. That's kind of what it falls under, but it's got
Yeah.
everything. It's jazzy, it's funky. Some of it's like arcade music. It kind of sounds like it kind of. It's a fun album. It gives me summer vibes. I know it's ended. I'm still holding on. I gotta let go, but I don't want to let go of this album because it's really good. So, what did you guys think about it?
Yeah, this is textbook city pop. You get that intro with like the keys going, and it's funny to me because it starts off very similarly to Circus Town by Tatsuro Yamashita, that album that I've mentioned a handful of times, where it does have like a little piano chord walk up, and then it has this like strings section that does like a very circusy like walk down. It's like a walk up and walk down type of thing. Sorry, to get into a little music theory for you. And that right off the jump, with the song Lover's Paradise to start off the album. I love that. And so as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, this is like fucking city pop. I'm here for this. It's like this is right in my wheelhouse. So big fan. Uh as always with these Japanese picks, the bass, like I don't know what they're doing over there, man, but they are in the fucking pocket when it comes to bass. Like they just are so nice. Their tone is so clean. I love that it's a Japanese album, but they're singing in English, which is pretty cool. Lover's Paradise, like that female. Ba, 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 da, da, ba. It's like very like Vegas almost like type of vibe. Uh and it's yeah, there's a reason it's called Seaside Lovers because it sounds the way it does. Like I know that that's a very like dumped down way to describe it, but they knocked it out of the park with the name and the music. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I love this. As I was telling you, Jake, when it was just you and I talking, I was like, it's just like every other Japanese album we've brought up.
Mhm.
It's not always on, always, all of it is not always on Spotify. And with that being said, I now have another Japanese pick that I'm going to have to get in person because I'm intrigued so much by what I have heard that I'm like, I have to hear those other three songs. And by God, I'll spend $40 to do it. So,
Yeah.
great pick. I'm glad you brought it up. It was pretty funny listening to this and then looking to my right at work, right out my window there, and seeing that it was raining cats and dogs. So uh, it was very much like, man, I could be on the beach with my toes in the sand, but I'm stuck in a law firm looking at the worst rain. Like, we got hit pretty good there right off the out the gate. So thought that was funny. But yeah, great. Like I said, great album. I'm a big fan of this. I have some more points I'll hit, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, I thought this was all of Masataka. So knowing it's a collab album Pretty cool. A lot of unique songs on here. I always listen to our picks with Crosby as we're driving and running errands. And so this album came on a few times last week, and he kept asking me, is this the soundtrack for Mario Odyssey? And I'm like, no, but those songs do sound pretty close. There's a few tracks on there that are pretty similar. And so
Oh,
it cracks me
Cross.
up. This is like,
He's the
yes,
best.
yes. But man, some of these songs are so like you said, city pop. I feel like a lot of the artists that we do visit that are from outside the US are J Japanese, whether it be all the picks we've talked about. I think we like this genre the most, and it has that city pop vibe. Lover's Paradise, like you said, very cool song. Melting Blue, Sunset Afternoon, like all these songs are very ambient in a way, but at the same time, they like hold their own into like that 80s classic, like that Japanese pop, like it's there. That's their style. That's what you're hearing throughout the whole album. And for being a collab album, they're all showcasing their talents, and it's very cool. I like that they sing in English, and then they have the instrumental parts as well. One of my favorite tracks on this album is the Wind Wave Wine Glass. That like is the perfect like synopsis for this whole album. Like it just that's it right there. Like you're on the beach, you're with your wine glass, you're just with the waves and the wind, and you're just chilling. So I feel like they created a great atmosphere with this album, and it showcases it throughout the whole entire thing. So fun pick. It was hard for me to pick my top three, honestly. Even though it's a short album, I was like, they're all great songs. I don't. That's a top seven or six. So great pick.
Hell yeah. Glad you guys liked it. It is such a time capsule, especially like just different stuff that was going on like in the world for music. Like in 80s we have some stuff going on here with we have disco, we have electronic, we have rock music, rap music, all this stuff, and then completely on the other side of the world they got shit like this going on. They got Masayoshi Takanaka doing crazy shit with surfboards like and stuff on this that it just, it's a gem. It's like a hidden gem that you come and stumble upon because I mean, looking at it online, like it's not really anywhere. There isn't a lot of information on anywhere for that, for any of the artists or the album itself. Half of it isn't even available. I don't know if it's region locked or what, but it's not on SoundCloud, it's not on Spotify, not on iTunes. So yeah, it's kind of like that's partially what kind of makes me a little hard, and makes it hard to like it is that it's so hard and it's not very accessible. But having it and listening to it, like you hear a lot more of the tracks, and specifically Hiroshi Sato. He's all his songs are off of the album. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But if you listen to his individual work, his album Awakening in '82 was really, really good. And it kind of sounds like that. And like you hear a little bit of that on this album. His are a lot more like I guess electronic. They're just like instrumental tracks on the album. So you can't really hear that on this because it's not on streaming. But if it was, I'm sure that you guys would like it. But yeah, it's interesting. I think it's really cool. I like everything that was happening out in Japan at this time, their music. It's
Mhm.
such a good thing to listen to, get into, and it just brings good vibes, brings happy vibes for me. Any chance I listen to it, if I'm driving, if I'm cooking, whatever, I hear it, like my mood just like gets better all of a sudden. Even if it's raining, even if there's thunderstorms and our power's going out because we live in Central Oregon, like it makes the best out of it. So yeah.
Hell yeah. It is shoot, I had a thought there. Oh yes, it's hard to wear a frown on your face and listen to this one. You know what I mean? Like you make a good point there, Jake, that it is like a very uplifting. Uh I I think it's kind of interesting, you mentioned it. It's super hard, like unless you own the album physically, you're not going to hear those other three songs, which sucks. I did see someone posted on YouTube that like it is those three songs are by that one dude, and I'm like, why be that stubborn, man? You did a collab album. Make your solo work not available anywhere else, but the collab album, you had to do it to that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And it is. because when you present an album like this, right, that is a collaboration between three artists,
Mhm.
and you're looking at it, all I want to know is the backstory. That's why I started this pod, is because I love the backstory to albums, and I love the ins and outs of everything, the drama in the recording room, maybe, all of that stuff. And this is one of those that I'm like, damn it, man. Like I really wish, like I was even like Bandcamp, because sometimes Bandcamp will have a little blurb. I'm like
Uh,
typing in Wikipedia, Seaside Lovers. I'm scouring, and I was like, I just want to know what those sessions were like. Like
what
how did,
happened?
yeah,
Yeah.
what happened? How did they
Mhm.
know each other? That type of stuff. And like I said, I have my own city pop record that I love, Circus Town, shout out. And that's one guy, so you can kind of guess what the story behind it was. A guy went in, recorded it, and came back. But like, why these three guys together? Like, how did they? So you bring up a very excellent point that I'm like, you know what, man? I actually wish this is one of those instances where I'm like, damn it, why isn't there more information
Mhm.
out there? But yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm gonna have to pick it up because now you mentioned what those songs sound like, and I'm like very interested. I'm like, God damn it. But I do appreciate the six songs that they did give us because they are super aquatic, very Mario Odyssey. Literally, one of my notes is for Melting Blue, water level. Yeah. Like doesn't matter what game,
Yeah.
just a water level, man. It could be Mario, Sonic, doesn't matter. And then another one I have here for Coconuts Island. I'm like, this is shitty racing game menu music. Like Sega GT 2002, like you're picking your car and Coconuts Island is playing. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know, man. But that type of, as I've said multiple times, that's a comparison I've made a trillion times, and every time it's the most accurate thing ever. You can check me on that. But I love that. I love an aquatic sounding album. Uh, and so yeah, songs like Melting Blue just tickle my ear in such a way, and then especially that song because they're like, going to the island. Whatever they're singing on it is perfect. And I'm like, yes, take me to the island, baby boy. Like, let's go, man. Like, give me a Mai Tai and a coconut and we'll be chilling. You know what I mean? So yeah, bummed that there's not a lot of information. Bummed I can't hear those three songs, but god damn it, these six are pretty stellar. And you kind of get thrown a little bit of a curveball at the end with what is it? Blue Memories. Like it's a pretty almost somber sounding song and it's like mainly just piano, but homie's ripping it on that piano. And so it's like, oh, okay, we kind of get a weird little like reprieve. And then if you listened to it in our playlist that I make every episode, you go from Blue Memories into Push It by Static X, which is pretty fucking aggressive if you ask me, and hilarious. So anyway, I digress. I love this album. I think it's great. Seaside Lovers is a killer name. I just want to be on a floaty in that album cover with my belly hanging out, just hey, what's up? Like it makes you yearn for the beach for sure.
I mean, that sums it up. It is a very ocean-esque water beach vibe. And I think Jake summed it up pretty well with like if you hear this album, you're instantly in that good mood. Like it's so positive and like happy and like you can be in the worst mood of all time and throw this on and you're like smiling because it just makes you feel good. I feel like music that does that so simply is great. And I'm glad they captured all three of these artists in one album. I think they're all unique, doing their own styles instrumentally, lyrically, and throughout the whole album, it has that same constant vibe. It doesn't fluctuate at all. Like Dorian said at the end, it kind of goes a little bit darker with the piano, but like it's always uplifting and like that happy kind of that sound from the early 80s of Japan is right there. And if you're wanting that sound, this is the album to hear.
Yeah.
Hell yes. I agree. Beautiful pick. Jake, shall we? You have the
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
piece?
Let's.
Okay, shall we?
Uh, Honorable mention. I'm gonna go Coconut Island, Coconuts Island. Great track. Also, honorable mention, the third track on this album, also really good. Number three, I'm going Melting Blue. Let me make sure I get the translation here because it is in Japanese. Let's do this. So number three is Melting Blue. Number two was Sunset Afternoon. I put that just sounds like like a Sonic Heroes level, or like something Sonic adjacent. because it's definitely a video game soundtrack. It sounds like it, whatever it is. And then my favorite track that I really kept coming back to every time, X's and O's. Um, really fucking bummer it's not on here. But if you guys get a chance to either find it online or on YouTube or in person, like try to check it out, try to spin it if they have a record player at the record store. Some stores have that, and play it, listen to it. You might like it.
Hell yeah. I like the sound of that. I knew I was like, which one that we haven't heard is Jake gonna pick for his top song? Because it's gotta be. So X's
I,
and O's,
I,
I'll
I
think of
do pay
that.
to win. I do pay to win.
God damn it. All right. Honorable mention for me, Lover's Paradise. As I said in the beginning when I mentioned that song, I think that's a hell of a way to kick it off, and that walk up, walk down kind of thing is really nice. And then number three for me was Coconuts Island. Like I said, pick your car type of music. Loved that. Number two, Sunset Afternoon. The bass on that was really sick, really tight. And the number one for me was Melting Blue. The just that aquatic, like even the drums are like super watery sounding. It's very groovy. It's very nice. Yeah, so Melting Blue is my favorite.
Nice. Gonna follow kind of similar suit to you, Dorian. Honorable mention for me was Lover's Paradise. Great way to start the album. Has a video game feel and all that jazz. Number two would be Sunset Afternoon. I'm sorry, number three, Sunset Afternoon. Number two, Melting Blue. And then my favorite track was Wind, Wave, and Wine Glass. I felt like that was the one for me. Summed it all up.
Rock on,
Nice.
baby. Well, that was Seaside Lovers by Jake. Alley Oop. What are the names? Just kidding.
Three Japanese artists.
Three Japanese artists. Go ahead and listen to it on Spotify, but if you see it in person, go ahead and pick it up and listen to it. It's a damn good city pop record. I can't wait to add it to my collection personally. That was my main man Jake's pick for this episode 99 of What You Spinning. We'll be right back to move it right along and talk about my pick for this week. Go ahead and stick around for us. We'll see you in a bit. Oh,
Meaningless. It's meaningless.
I take the whole. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk about this album, guys. And this album is my pick for this wonderful episode 99 of What You Spin. And I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake. We're back to talk about the second pick of today, leading up to our wonderful episode 100 extravaganza. We're all very excited. Um, and like I said just now, I'm super excited to talk about this album. This album was released in 1999. I was doubting that Spotify had the correct info. They did. Uh, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that I was wrong in that situation? Fuck me, I guess. And that album is Wayne or Static X Wisconsin Death Trip. I do believe it's their debut album. And by golly, it rips. One of my favorite albums. I had a little bit of familiarity with a couple of the songs off of this when I was a youngster, but man, in adulthood, this album rips, like I said. But I obviously have a lot of appreciation, a lot of good stuff to say about it. I will go ahead and serve it up to you boys. What do you guys got?
Ooh, Wisconsin Death Grips. I like it. I do. This is kind of up my alley, kind of like new metal, like late 90s, early 2000s feel to it, of that metal kind of that was popularized coming up. Has a lot of aspects of like you could say Korn, some other bands, sometimes it sounds like it's like rapping, super fast paced. There's like some cool vocal effects, some cool vocals going on, a little bit of screams, and it's got that high energy that you kind of want to hear if you're into this stuff. So I'm very much into this stuff, so I like it. For it being a debut, I thought was fucking nuts. I did not know that. It's pretty crazy. And like right after this album ended, I was kind of like thrown back a little bit just because ending of December, I was like, that was not at all what I was expecting. And then it just went into another song from another album. It just started queuing up another album of theirs, and I listened to a little bit of that. So, was definitely into this band these last couple of weeks. Really good. I really like their style, like how they play, their flow. It gave me a lot of certain songs too give me like certain like industrial feel to it, like a very like grungy metal feel. So yeah, this is right up my alley, and I was really digging this. I almost PR'd again at the gym, but I've been a little weak lately, but
That's always the
good.
question when I bring up a pick like this, that I'm like, if I know Jake, he's gonna love this, and he'll probably either give himself a hernia or PR at the gym. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've never listened to Static X. I think I found Push It last year or maybe a little while longer. And I think I sent a video to Dorian at one point of a live video or something, or maybe even the both you guys, because I like that song and I liked his aura on stage. And so I listened to a little bit of this album. This whole thing is great. Like the title alone, funny fact about the album, it's a book, title reference. Anyways, but this album kicks ass. New metal, it sounds like that. And they say that it's industrial rock or metal, industrial metal. I don't agree with that. I feel like it's more new metal. It has that sound like Jake said, it has that Korn kind of vibe. Wayne Static doing his thing. Like I said, Push It's a great track. Bled for Days, man. It has a lot of the same power chords and stuff going on, but at the same time, it's very dynamic. Songs like December, like you guys mentioned, or the Trance in Motion, like it changes the whole dynamic of the album. And I think when you can do that as an artist, you're definitely setting yourself apart and showing that you can do other things rather than just playing the same style throughout the whole album. So I appreciate that about him. And like I said, when I started talking, the performances that I've seen of him playing live, I don't know. He just has a good presence on stage, and like you can feel his emotion, and he's just going for it. It's too bad that he wasn't around this planet very long. But while he was here, he did create some good music, and this album is fantastic all around. So very good pick. A lot of the songs are very dynamic and heavy, and it was very uplifting this week for me. You know, anytime I was like feeling a little bit low, pop this album on, right back up.
yeah.
Love that.
It's funny how the first two albums that we're talking about today, and even Matt's, I could say, they uplift you in various ways. Like Seaside Lovers
Mhm.
just sounds uplifting, and it's like, oh yeah, things are all right. And then you listen to Wisconsin Death Trip, and it's very, oh yeah, things are gonna be all right because I'm a fucking badass and I'm gonna run through a brick wall. That's why things are gonna be all right, you know? And then Matt's pick is it gives you a lot of hope, so they all uplift you in various ways. So I think that's actually kind of a funny thing that we unintentionally did. Everything's always unintentional on here. It's all organic, baby. But yeah,
Mhm.
man, Wisconsin Death Trip, Static X, where do I begin? Where do I end? Wayne Static, an icon of the new metal movement, whether maybe considered a little bit below, those bigger bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Deftones. Iconic mainly because of his look. He's got the braid, the ponytail beard with the little mini hair ties in it. His hair looks like he's hanging upside down. Fun fact about that. Static was asked in an interview how long his hair took, and he said 20 minutes. His sister said it takes probably more than double that time. Wayne, you're an idiot. Why are you lying to people? Like, sibling type of shit. So I thought that was hilarious. Unfortunately, he did pass away. Battled alcoholism throughout his life, and then ended up ODing on some drugs. Unfortunately, um, but yeah, it's wild to because I got reminded of the fact that this is their debut when I got heavy into this album this year, and I was like, "There's no way in hell that this is their debut." It is because you get songs like "Push It," "I'm with Stupid," "Bled for Days," "Love Dump." It's like I can't even pick how many like whether it's a 3 song run that starts it off or a 4 song run, because the album just starts off high octane and it doesn't let off that pedal until you get to December, which fun fact is from Static and I think the guitarist's band prior to Static X. I know it's Wayne and one other guy. They were in a band together before Static X, and December is a song that they carried over from that band. So fun little fact there. Yeah, and I just love, it is I if I were to play devil's advocate for the people that consider this to be industrial metal, the drums sound very machine-like, but that's where it starts and where it stops, as far as the industrial comparisons there. And that being said, I love the sound of the drums on this. They did their own like homemade drum triggers to give it a more machine-like feel. Because they're like, we want it to sound machiney, but we don't want to use a drum machine. Go figure. So we're gonna make our own stuff to do so. So I love, you know, invention of that type of sort. And yeah, it kind of hits, all the boxes for a late 90s new metal album. Guitars are in drop C. They're playing zero like open notes the whole time basically. Like I was listening to this album at work, and when I'm listening to these songs, if there's like a guitar part I like, I'm like, how do they play that? I look up the tab and I'm like, oh, it's just drop C open note power chord. Oh, all right, cool. All right. Just gotta change how you strum it, I guess, throughout the album because it's
Hmm.
funny. It's like I almost want to pull a couple examples and show you guys. It's like literally just the same. The tabs are just the same, just different strumming patterns. It's quite hilarious. Uh, but sometimes simplicity is the key, right? And they made a damn good album. Let's see here. Mm, I'll stop there for now. I'll hold on. I'll hold on. I could keep
You gotta
going.
hold the horses. Don't let them all
Settle
loose.
down,
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. I'll stop there. I don't
Deftones
want
hoodie, like, come on.
to. Hey
I
man, I'm repping. I'm repping. I was like, I got a rep. I got my main man Maryland back there. He's hanging out. We're industrial as hell over here right now.
Good
New
old
metal all
Brian
day.
Warner in the background. Yeah.
Brian fucking Warner.
I, I will say like sometimes it's definitely needed. And like I can appreciate something like this because it's definitely very different energy from, say my pick or Matt's pick. Very different style, very different genre, a lot more intense. But it's like that's the cool thing about it. That's what keeps me excited about it is like I had heard Push It just from the memes and you guys and all the laughs. But like now I'm like, oh, okay, no, this is a solid project. This is like a good album. And there's like some solid songs here. Like Sweat of the Bud, like that song was getting me. Um Looking into the ooh, like that vocal is really cool. I think that's kind of funny. The trance is in motion. I thought that one was like really like I could feel that song is a little more industrial. It kind of has a little like Nine Inch Nails kind of feel to it. It's like feels kind of electronic to it. The song on there, December being ambient. So it's like, okay, they're doing like different things. Like it's not just someone screaming into a mic and someone ripping their nails off, strumming the guitar. Like they're actually, doing music here. They're doing different things. So I thought that was cool. Um, and yeah, it's kind of for what it is, like I'm really into it. I love this style of music. So definitely thank you for bringing it up because a couple of these songs made it onto my gym playlist because I got different ones for different feels, different vibes, and this was definitely it these past couple of days.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think it's really cool too. Another artist we've talked about on this podcast introduced these guys, the drummer and the lead singer, good old Billy Corgan introduced these people and
Yes.
kind of funny how like completely different genres of music, like Smashing Pumpkins, the Static X. I
Absolutely.
think that rounds out our podcast in general. We talk about all types of music and there's no like you can't like separate anybody. We all like the same stuff, and I love that. So that was a cool fact that I found very interesting. But this is an iconic album, sets the sound. It's new metal, it's not industrial. And Wayne X or yeah, Wayne Static doing his thing, man. Like he's got his finger on the trigger here. And I just wish we could have heard more. But this
Yeah.
album, it's a time capsule for that time where new metal was kind of rising and falling. And this is a great album. So many good tracks on here. Love
Yeah.
it. Good pick.
Thank you. Yeah, it is, you bring up a good point. It is really a time capsule of like 1999. And we've talked about a lot of albums from 1999, 2000, 2001 that fit into this genre. But I feel like this is, if you were to say, if an alien came and they're like, hey, what was popular in 1999? You would show them the Woodstock 99 documentary, and then you would hand them a copy of Wisconsin Death Trip and be like, this is basically what music was. Like, this is what was huge at the time. And they'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to go back to my time machine and I'm going to live in 1999 for the rest of my life. And I was like, maybe hold your horses. Things weren't that great. Um, let's maybe calm down. American Pie wasn't that good of a movie. Anyway, I had to say it. Um,
It wasn't.
but yeah, it's a time capsule, and if you want to, the main example I'm thinking of albums that we've brought up from 1999, the self-titled Slipknot debut. Two, both new metal albums, both pioneer like Mount Rush. If you were to do a Mount Rushmore of new metal albums, those are two of the slots, right? But vastly different, like completely different, but both, kind of shaped what music would be leading into the early 2000s. I've said it a billion times, and not even just for metal. 2004 is one of the best years in music history, in my opinion. You look at the albums that came out in '04, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And again, you look at those metal albums that came out, and a lot of them had that influence. Industrial music and new metal got huge in the early 2000s, up until like '05. And I think, honestly, it's because of this. And, this is like a hell of an album. Like I said, there's not a song on here that I would ever skip. I Am, Stem, Sweat of the Bud, Obstaculation. Like, it's just, there's something about this album and all of the songs on it just grab you in a way that it's crazy. And then when you think about it and then you start looking at like how the songs are played, you're like, holy shit, it's so simple, but it's like, I think that's why I love it so much, right? Is because at its core, it is super simple to play these guitar parts and everything if you know how to like play, right? They're super simple, but they're so catchy. Push It, I'm with Stupid, again. Fucking I'm with Stupid might be one of the best songs I've heard in my life. Like, so I grabbed my shovel. Like, it's just it's it's very, and it also kind of, the reason also why I say it's like a staple in new metal and late 90s music is because, and you hear them talk about this in like the Woodstock 99 documentary, the music that was really popular at that time was very juvenile, right? Like it was very much meant for like lyrically, you've got songs like All in the Family off of Follow the Leader by Korn, right? That's like, it's a diss track between Fred Durst and Jonathan Davis. Don't get me started. Listen to that episode. But then, you've got songs like Love Dump off of Wisconsin Death Trip, and it's like, your shit's like chocolate cake and your ass smells like a rose. Like you read the lyrics to this, you're like, oh yeah, it's a 90s new metal album for sure. They're talking about absurd stuff. Um, but then also like you kind of zoom out from that and you listen to Love Dump, you're like, that's actually kind of a poignant love song that
Hmm.
Wayne Static wrote. Like it's actually a damn good love song. Uh, Whether it's a good one or, good love or bad love. So yeah, I appreciate the music about it and everything, but then like yeah, you look at the lyrics and you're like, oh, it's almost tongue in cheek, kind of juvenile, but then it's like zoom out just a little bit and it actually makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
But I digress. I think we've given it enough love. You guys ready to do some top three?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do it. I'll kick things off here. Honorable mention for me, Push It. Man, yeah, you push it. It's been our call. It's been our mating call on this podcast for a while. It's I mean, you just to start off an album like that again, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I think they laid out the tracks perfectly on this. Number three for me is Love Dump. Love it. Like I said. Number two, Bled for Days. Just his like rap delivery on that is super nice. Get through the pain, and the dealing with the like beautiful.
Yeah.
And then number one for me, this was one that I could not stop listening to this week. Sweat of the fucking Bud, man. Just that dun 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 dun, and like I love that his voice follows that rhythm too. Like it's that song's like very actually pretty musically makes my ears tickle. So love that one. Sweat of the Bud, baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that song I was getting into a lot this week too. Definitely on my list. Honorable mention, Bled for Days. Um, Great song. Also honorable mention, Push It. When you said this is the album for that song, I thought, yes, I am now gonna be in the loop. Now I know what it's about. I'm part of the cool kid table. So honorable mention for that song too. Number three, in the trance is in motion. Number two, Sweat of the Bud. And then my favorite track was December, just because it's
Nice.
like to wrap up an album like that. I think the beginning and the end of an album is always special. Like that's how, especially for a debut, like this is what you're gonna start with. This is what people are gonna first hear when they first put that album into their speaker player, into their CD player, whatever, what have you. And then the last song is like your parting ways, your parting gift of the album. So I think uh, two completely different starts and ends to it. I love that that ending kind of made it a lot more different and added a lot more seasoning to the album. So yeah, December favorite track.
Yeah, fun album, great pick. One more thing I was gonna mention, Terry Date was originally wanting to produce, or they were looking to have him produce this album, and they settled for
Yep.
his assistant because they couldn't afford Terry Date. I know we've reviewed a few albums that Terry Date's been behind, so I wanted to bring that up. This was one of the more fun albums that was like picking your top three for me because they're all really good tracks. For me, honorable mention is going to be Fix. I like that track, the way it starts out, the way it ends. Number three, The Trances in Motion, because it's a shift from the normal feel of the album. Number two, December. And then my favorite track is Blood for Days. I mean, it's meaningless and it just fucking rocks, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I blast that song anytime it's on. I turn it way up to
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. I'm with Stupid and Bled for Days are my crank the stereo songs. Like I hear that intro, hey, he's a loser. All right, just break the knob off, dude. Let's go. Great, man. I'm so glad you guys liked it. I've been really sitting on this one. Was gonna try to wait until I had it physical, but it's just maybe I'll check and see what it's like now. Maybe I'll get a copy. But yeah, that was 1999's Wisconsin Death Trip, the debut from metal act Static X. R.I.P. Wayne Static. Will say they are touring as Static X. They have a guy who does a full like he looks like a robotic Wayne Static with the hair and everything. It's the singer for Dope, and he does the vocals and rhythm guitar, and he sounds as close to Wayne as you could get. I'm super pissed at myself for not catching that show last year when they came to Eugene, but I watched clips of them this week, particularly of them doing Sweat of the Bud, and he knocks it out of the water. So if you get a chance and you like Static X, go see them right now. Their guy Zero, as they call him, is killing it. So, yep, that's my pick for this week. We'll be right back to wrap it on up and talk about Mats. It's What You Spin in episode 99. We'll see you in a sec. Alrighty, babies. Why don't we bring it on home and talk about a great pick? It's What You Spin in episode 99. We're at the tail end of today's content. We've got a great one to talk about. I know Matt's particularly excited to talk about this one. I've really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to talk about it too. Why don't you let the people know what you got?
Kind of a momentum shift for me. I don't feel like I've really dove into this style of music or this genre in general at all. And after I started listening to this band, a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, duh! Like you don't know Noi?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, sorry, but now I do. Now I do." But I'm bringing up a pick by a band called the Avett Brothers from 2009 called "I and Love and You." uh, their major album or major debut on like a major label, uh, produced by Rick Rubin, which we all love Rick. He's doing his thing. He's behind a lot of the Mastermind albums that we've heard and that we've all brought up, and I think that's cool that he's so diverse in what he chooses to work with, whether it be metal, rap, and then the folky country-esque genre that is the Avett Brothers. But this album in particular just caught me off guard from the opening track, the title track. I don't know, man. It just the harmonies in there. It just was like, fuck, dude, these guys are good. And so it kind of captivated me from there. The first four or five tracks on this album are solid, and it just kind of builds from there. Kind of downplays a little towards the end, but all in all, I think it's a great, major label debut for them. They're two unique individuals, and their discography is immense. They've got other great songs, other great ballads. They're very unique. I don't know. They're good. They're good songwriters, and they capture those vocal harmonies that I enjoy. Kind of remind me a little bit of Crosby and Nash in a sense, with the way they play their music and the way they kind of harmonize their vocals. Fun album. I think there's a song on here for everybody, even if you don't like those folky songs. There's, the randomest stuff on this album. And I think Rick Rubin was able to capture that pretty well with these guys, and I'm glad he worked with them. And it's a fun album. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, this is one. I remember when the Avett Brothers like were getting big back around, I think like 2011, 2012. Um, and it was up, I was going to school upriver and everybody was into them. And I just, at the time, I was a huge metalhead. And so I said, miss me with that. But now I've brought up a couple albums that, kind of fit into this vein, whether it's AJJ or Tyler Childers or Ramshackle Glory. So yeah, this is right in my alley. And I'm glad that I'm glad that you brought this up because now I'm like, oh shit, I have to go listen to all their other stuff. If this is their major label debut, the rest of their albums have to be, pretty solid. And yeah, it's got that good folky, kind of homegrown vibe, which is really awesome, because I feel like that's what draws people to the Avett Brothers, in general, is their folky kind of stripped down sound. And so I think it's awesome that they got a producer as huge as Rick Rubin to kind of allow them to still kind of do their thing. And, I think he probably just said, do your thing. I'm just going to polish it a little bit, and make it a more rounded out sound. But yeah, this album is top notch from top to bottom. Starting off with I and Love and You, and then ending with Incomplete and Insecure. Think like you said, Matt, anyone can find a song on here that they like, and I think a lot of people can relate to the lyrical content of those two songs in general. And to have an entire album book ended with two songs like that, I think is really stellar. So I'm very glad that you brought this up. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely. I feel like it challenged me a little more to listen to this because I like folk music, but I'm not like super big into it or like country per se. So like Ramshackle Glory or like AJJ, those I could get behind. But I'm not necessarily seeking out this kind of music. So listening to this, first couple of listens, it felt really slow. It felt like a little bit like I was trying to force myself to listen to it. But then I sat back, kind of heard it more often. And I was like, oh, this is actually like really good. They have great lyrics. It is very emotional. Certain songs, they definitely can, bridge some wires and kind of hit you in the feels sometimes. Like in a certain day, probably hit me a little differently. Very emotional tracks. It does feel very personal also. Some of these songs, not only with the lyrical content, but like I feel like also the song titles, they are also kind of a lot has to go into them and a lot was being said about it. So yeah, it feels like a very personal album. I think Rick Rubin is also just doing side quests at this point. Like, how do you get to like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna produce these guys, and just be on here and help him out. And yeah, I don't necessarily say that I would like I hear his production or I hear his influence or whatever, but I like that about it, that I can hear these guys' sound. And I feel like, yeah, like Dorian said, he probably just helped round it out, make sure that it was structurally solid. And it is. I think it all flows into each other very well. All the songs, they all kind of follow a certain theme. The first half of the album is like a lot more personal, a lot more, um, you know, confined into that kind of feelings. And then the second half is a little more upbeat, a little more, they're playing a little harder, playing a little faster, but um, really good vibes that I was getting off of this album. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for bringing it up.
I'll piggyback off of what you said. Like this isn't a genre that I would seek out either. I don't think I ever would have listened to this band had I not heard that collaboration with Mike Patton last month or earlier last month, I guess, with him and these guys. So me diving into this kind of music too was kind of a not a challenge, but like it was different for me. But like you said, the lyrical content, the emotion that they have behind each track, you start to feel that music. And whenever a songwriter can do that, it touches you in a certain way. And that's what I appreciate about these guys. So I don't know that I would go out and, listen to any other albums, but this album for me is solid. Like I said, they have some other tracks on some of their earlier albums and later albums that are really decent too. A lot of their live performances are worth watching. just because they're great performers. And again, we all know they're good songwriters and they play their instruments well and they're brothers and they're harmonizing. And I think it's that's cool. That's a cool family dynamic, making music together and be able to tour together and live with each other and like be around each other the whole time and like still make great music and do it for, longer than a decade. It says a lot for a musician and a band to do that. So much love for these guys. This is a great album. I'm glad you guys gave it a chance. Again, it's not my style, but for some reason, it just, I don't know, like it clung to me. And I think it's that opening track, they're harmonizing and like the lyrical content just kind of hit me right in the heart. And there's a few other songs on this album that did that as well. The Perfect Space, I mean, that's a great track as well, lyrically. And I think we can all relate to that, whether it's the friends that you choose or the people that you're around, things like that.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry. There's like weird stuff going on in my neighborhood over here. It sounded like someone was beating on my door. But yeah, it's a beautiful I love what you said about like the lyrical content and everything and like starting off that song I and Love and You. It's a very strong message. And because you see an album title like I and Love and You and you're like,
Mm.
that's weird. And
Yeah,
then
right.
you listen to that opening song and it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective. And I think you brought this up at a perfect time for me. Like I kind of needed some introspective kind of stuff right now. And I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of processing a lot of stuff. And so, at night, like there was like a couple nights this week where I would just throw, like start in the middle or start at a random spot in this album and kind of just let it eat. And yeah, it's beautiful, top to bottom. There's these wonderful, like there's mandolins and like all these cool little string instruments that they're doing, and I love it. And you mentioned The Perfect Space. It's a great song, hell of a beat switch. All right now, dude. It kind of does like a Sweet Home Alabama
Mhm.
kind of sounding thing. So I did love that. And then songs like Laundry Room, those are uh like powerful songs that they have on here where, and I think that's kind of more or less the point of folk music, right? Is having a song that's pretty simplistic but has like a powerful message. I think that's what the whole genre was founded on back in the day. And you mentioned another great group, Crosby and Nash. The I can see the influence just oozing out from those guys, and I think that's probably subliminally why we all kind of liked this album, is because we had some of the formations with like AJJ, that's close enough. Tyler Childers also close enough, but then you really think about it, it's like, oh, we all loved that Another Stony Evening.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's right in that alley. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I liked that video that you sent of from the like recording sessions where Rick was doing his little fucking wave dance. That was sweet. I'm gonna have to listen to some more of their stuff because the fact that this came out 16 years ago is actually crazy because it's like so polished that it sounds like it could have come out yesterday, if that makes sense. Like I love it. I think
That's
it's
where that's where the Rick Rubin touch comes into play, I think, right? It spins
yep,
it right into there, makes it time.
yep,
He capsulates,
yeah, and exactly because like all of the albums that we've brought up that Rick Rubin has done are these timeless albums. Fucking Decade of Aggression, uh, insert one here. For some reason I'm blanking on all the other ones, but we've talked, all of these timeless albums, and this is another one. And it's kind of crazy, that he did it with like a folk group. It's crazy that he produced a live album for Slayer and then did this. You know what I mean? Like the guy's got versatility out the ass, and I think that's why I love him. And anytime I look up an album like produced by Rick Rubin or produced by Terry Date, produced by so and so. I'm like, yeah, I could probably get into that. So, but yeah, I think their songwriting is stellar already. But then like you said, you get that Rick Rubin touch, and it brings everything together.
yeah.
So yeah, I loved this. I love this album.
Oh yeah. Songs like Head Full of Doubt, Road Full of Promise, also great track on here. The ending to Laundry Room I thought was really good.
Mhm.
It has that cool like different tone of guitar that and it just switches up and goes a little better, a little harder, 10,000 words. So there's like a lot of songs on here that I was just kind of picking out and I was like, "Ooh, that's a gem. That's perfect." And then, certain days, like if I feel like if this would come on shuffle, like I got to be careful because I might start tearing up. I might have to, run in a room and cry myself to sleep or something. Because like definitely that's kind of what I do appreciate about this kind of music is like the message is very specific. Like it's very intentional for someone either going through something or they want to make something out of it or just want to feel a little more in their feelings and be a little emotional. I feel like I could definitely hear that on this album. So, yeah, great stuff. I'm definitely interested. I saw that they're releasing a new album in looks like a week or two. So definitely interested to see just how their new sound sounds. But for this being like debut, and I'm sure they done stuff before this, definitely gotta um, check out some of their other stuff and stick around for their newer stuff as well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Hell
glad you
yeah.
liked it. Emotionalism, I think, is the album before this, and that has a lot of cool tracks on it. The Ballad of Love and Hate. That's such a good song. Holy shit, the songwriting is great. Um, I'm glad you guys like this album. It was fun for me. I like the songwriting and just the overall feel. These guys are talented and doing what they do. I look forward to the collaboration they're doing with Mike Patton. That should be interesting. That song Eternal Love is, very Mike Patton-esque. It reminded me of RV a little bit with when he's singing his
Yes.
yes, right, when he's doing his bars. I'll take my pills, I'll drink my drinks.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, so
Great.
good.
Yeah. But we can dive into top threes. We'll get going. Jake, you summed up my top three when you were talking there. So thank you for doing that. But here we go. Honorable mention for me is the title track, I and Love and You, has the harmonies. That's what the album's going to be after you hear that song. So great, great way to open the album. Number three, 10,000 Words. Number two, Head Full of Doubt. And then The Perfect Space, that was my favorite track. It's kind of a different shift and showcased a lot of what those guys can do. And great, great talent there.
Rock on. Love it. Honorable mention for me is Ill with Want. I just love when they say ill with want. Like they like do the way they lead up to it lyrically is does like a weird little pause that I kind of like. Number three for me was And It Spread. Again, love the way they do that chorus as well. Number two, we talked about it, Laundry Room, killer track. Number one for me was 10,000 Words. I love the wrote a bunch of songs, but the choruses were in your name, whatever. That line was really stuck out to me. So yeah, number one for me was 10,000 Words.
Nice.
Nice. Honorable mention for me was Laundry Room. Love that song. Number three, Slight Figure of Speech. Number two, It Goes On and On. And then Head Full of Doubt. I like that song as well. Head Full of Doubt slash Road Full of Promises.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
that was a good one. I love it. Great top threes, great pick, great album, great group. I agree with the Mike Patton thing. I'm really looking forward to listening to that. I think that, again, talk about the versatility of a human being in the music world. Mike Patton might be up there with one of the more versatile people in any genre. Um, but the Avett brothers, man, this is like modern day folk music. It's not something that we get too into. I feel like we've gotten into like the folk country, we've gotten into the folk punk, but strictly modern day folk, this is a hell of a pick to get into. And it's from 2009, so is it really modern day? That's for you to decide. But anyway, that was Matt's pick. I and Love and You by the Avett Brothers again from 2009, their major label studio debut. Was Matt's pick for this week, this wonderful episode 99 of Whatchu Spinnin'. We'll be right back to tell you what's coming for the big bad episode 100 and to give you a little detail about what that might look like. But stick around. We'll be right back. Oh man, I'm so excited, guys.
No
I'm so
shit.
excited.
No shit.
All right. It's time, baby, for everybody's favorite part of the show, the end. I'm kidding. I mean, kind of. But the end of the show is when we let you know what's coming for next episode, and this one is particularly special. It's What You Spinnin', episode 99, the tail end. I'm Dorian, that's Matt, and that's Jake with his ears poking through his hoodie.
Ah,
Cute look. Um, Episode 100, man. We
Oh,
can go on a little bit of a spiel here. 100 eps. Who would have thought?
crazy.
Uh, Crazy. Well, I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
do a more emotional type of thing. We are going to be live in person. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus. There's some scheduling conflicts, but November 15th is when we'll be recording again. So we'll see you guys then. But it's episode 100, and we've done a couple themed eps here, whether it was with an artist, a particular genre, a nation, a year. Um, and episode 100 is no different. And we did a version of this when we had to take a break, and I just made a supercut of a couple other like pulled albums from episodes and smashed it together. But we're gonna do a true revisit episode
Mhm.
where we pull albums that we've talked about before and no holds barred. I said pick an album from episode 90 for all I care. Whatever you want to talk about again, let's bring it up. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a lot of talking, like I was telling the guys before we hit record, that I think it's going to be, a good normal episode, and then we'll do a lot of celebration talk, like, oh, we're going to talk about the shows that we've all seen together, our favorite albums that we've talked about, talk about the albums that we're revisiting, this, that, and the other thing. It's going to be a fucking blast. I'm super stoked. But without further ado, Jake, why don't you break the seal on this bad boy and let us know what you're revisiting? Because I'm
Ooh.
Oh
super
man.
excited.
How do you even start this? It's 100 episodes where we had for a little bit 4 different albums going in one episode, then three. Do the math. That's a lot of music. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint just one album. I will be selfish. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna pick one of my albums. Early on, before Matt was on board. I think Dorian will probably pick the same episode that this was on, but episode 4, back when was that? Like 3 years ago. Um, I'm bringing back one of Easta's Social Club, their
Yeah.
self-titled.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like it was I haven't picked Matt's brain about this album. And I know that we all like it, so I figured, might as well pay it a visit again.
I honestly, I wanted you to pick this one, but I was like, I don't think he's going to. But Buena Vista Social Club, man, that's an insane album. That's still 100, 96 episodes later. That's still like top three album that you've brought up for me, probably. That's awesome, man. Yep, Jake said it perfectly. I'm going episode 4. This is one that Matt and I have talked about a lot, of, hey, have you brought this up? Yes, very early on. Trust me, I covered the bases pretty early. Um, this is an album by a group. We've brought up this guy, this group multiple times. It's kind of shaped this podcast in a way. This album changed my life, which is very fitting because it came out literally a month before I was born. Going 1996, Enema by Tool. Um, One of the best albums of all time. Very stoked that we get to revisit this and figured one of us had to do it. So there's mine.
Wow.
Let's just do episode 4 again. It's looks like we got all the same stuff from the
Yeah.
same album.
Yeah, what were the other what was the other pick on episode 4, man?
Yeah, what was
What
it?
did
Do
George
we
pick?
remember what did George pick?
I think his was like Herbie. I think it was no, not Herbie Hancock. Let me
No.
see. 2 seconds. Let me just scroll all the
Yeah.
way up. I think it was Quincy Jones.
No, that
Uh,
was episode that was his
his is
uh,
Jazz Abroad, Quincy Jones.
Oh,
Yeah,
was that episode 4?
that was episode 4. Yeah.
Holy shit. Go, everybody. I mean, the episode is whatever it is. Go listen to these 3 albums. Jazz Abroad by Quincy Jones and what was the other guy?
Quincy Jones and Roy Hayes.
Roy Hayes. That's an insane album. That's a great jazz album. I'm still looking for that one on vinyl. Um, yeah, please, God, go listen to episode 4 and listen to those albums. I didn't realize how much of a banger that was. Holy shit. Anyway, Matt, take us home.
Man, yeah, I've switched everything around. So now, based on those two picks and just the fact that I haven't got to talk about this album with you guys in depth very much, we're going with Haram by Arm& and Hammer.
Ooh.
On the eve of the new Alchemist project they're working together, why not? Let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's do it.
I just got goosebumps, dude. I just
Yes.
got fucking goosebumps. That's gonna be awesome. Buena Vista Social Club, Anima, and Haram.
Yes.
Like legitimately, that might be like the that's like the big three of this podcast, probably. Like, dude, those are. I was hoping that we would kind of do each like subconsciously do albums that really defined, we talk a lot about discographies and like, oh, this is a pinpoint to what would be to come. This is a very good example of those things. This is all stuff. This is literally episode 10 and prior. So excellent stuff, guys. Yeah, man, that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, that's gonna be the revisit episode for episode 100 of What You Spinnin'. Also told the guys I kind of just gave it away. I might have to pick a different one because I just said what one of my answers is gonna be. I asked them, hey, pick your top three albums that you've brought up personally, your favorites, one for one of us, and then one for so we're gonna be doing like a top nine basically of albums that we've brought up. I told the guys, open it up to them if they have any questions they want to talk about. So be it. Let's do it. Like I said, it's going to be fun. It's going to be probably a longer ep. We're going to be in person. The chemistry is going to be through the roof. Going to be super excited. I'm almost vibrating. I'm so excited about this episode. But for the time being, I'm Dorian. That's Matt. That's Jake. 99 episodes in the bag. The 100th one is going to be a fucking banger. Please, for the love of God, go support your local record store. If you're in Eugene, go give Callie at Moonrock a what's up and buy 7 records from her. They kill it over there. Go support your local band. If you're in Eugene, go see Truffle Jam. Great jam band here in Eugene. Support your local businesses, local restaurants. I could name a trillion of those in the Lane County area to go. Um, but yeah, man, tell a friend about this podcast. We're literally everywhere that you can get podcasts, whether it's, mom and pops, podcasting network, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. Follow us on Instagram at Whatchu Spinnin. Follow me on Instagram at Dorian Dilly, constantly posting music stuff on my story. I love doing that. I try to do it at least once a day. And if you catch me on a good day, I'll do like 4 or 5. Just sharing songs that I find, whether it's stuff from the pod, stuff that I listen to personally. Um, yeah, I'm so fucking grateful for you two guys and sticking with me through all of this. I've been through a lot in the lifetime of this podcast. We've all had some pretty significant life changes. I'm proud of us for still sticking through this, and I'm fucking really looking forward to hanging out with you guys in person. Much love to all of our fans. Keep supporting us, and we'll see you in about a month or so. It's What You Spinning. Peace out.